Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where we are implementing purchasing land. So first things first. We know what the purchase cost is going to be, and I mean, a lot of this is placeholder values right now. We're gonna make this be a fair amount more complicated in how it generates that later on, I suspect. But for right now, we've got our business here, and we are going to need a list of hexes that we own. The question is, how are we going to define that? Because we're purchasing at the building hex level, and what we need to know is we need to know what building hex inside of what biome hex inside of what world hex. So I think we could do that in like an int3 sort of struct. That's a possibility. Like a three-dimensional coordinate, essentially. Yeah, I think that's fine. Do we have a utilities script? If we do, it's not open. Scripts. Util. Okay, we've got distance 2. We're going to go ahead and create a new C# script here, and this is going to be an int3. Reload. And we are going to go ahead and open up int3. This is not going to be a mono behavior. This is not even going to be a class. This is going to be a struct. So public struct int3, and this is going to be simply int. And I'm going to call this world hex. Int biome hex, and int, and this is going to be building hex. Okay, so that's just a data structure. We're not really going to do too much with it in there. But what we are going to do is in our inventory, we're going to create a public list of type int3, and this is going to be owned hexes equals new list int3. Okay, so now we have a list of hexes that we own. Excellent. Okay, so if we then click on a building hex, and we are in buy land mode right here, we have the value of the land. So let's just go ahead and implement this really fast. If business dot current funds is greater than purchase cost. So we only do this if it's greater than the purchase cost. Otherwise, for right now, debug.log replace me, not replace men, replace me. Not all men need to be replaced. We're fine replacing just this, not all of the men. This is fine. So replace me. Not enough funds to purchase land. Okay. So we now know that we have enough money to purchase this land. So let's go ahead and do it. Business.current funds minus equals purchase cost. Should we toss up a dialogue to confirm this? We probably should, right? Yeah, I think we probably should. So let's come in here and make a dialogue. This dialogue is going to start disabled, for sure. And I'm going to call it, I'm going to create a UI image. We're going to base it off of this here. So the advisor window here is this color. We're going to grab this, and we're going to paste it in here. Hang on a moment. I grabbed the wrong thing. Okay, we're going to grab this, and we're going to paste it in here. Okay, and then this sprite is going to be background, like so. Now this doesn't have to be anywhere near as huge as the advisor window. I'm just going to make this very simply be something along the lines of 500 pixels, like maybe 512 by 256. And this is going to be confirmation window. And then we are going to do a UI image inside of there. And in this UI image, we are going to have it be this color. And this is going to be... Hang on, this is a raw image. We don't want a raw image. UI image. There we go. This is going to be an, I believe, input field background. Is that what we used up here? For the advisor text BKG? Nope, we used background for that, actually. Okay, that's fine. Background. There we go. That works. And I'm going to go ahead and have this be about 450 by about 125-ish. We can move this thing up, have it be located around 30. And actually, I'm going to have this be anchored at the top here. So anchor center top. And this is going to be about 30 pixels down here. Okay. And then I'm going to have this be the confirmation text BKG. Excellent. And then we're going to create a text mesh pro text. And this is going to be the entire size of this window. Okay. Size 36 is probably overkill. This is size 24, and that should be plenty. Okay, and then let's go ahead and create ourselves an empty. Have it be on the bottom. Have this be 30 pixels up. And we will do a horizontal layout group here. This will be the button bar. And then we will do a UI button. This will go ahead and control the width and height. I want the button bar to be like this, stretched across. Have it be 30 pixels in. Yep, that is correct. 30 pixels in, and it does not need to be 100 pixels high. Something around 45 pixels high. What is the height of this right here? 125. So 30, 60, 90 calc. We have a total height here of 256. 256 minus 90 eaten up by margins minus 125 eaten up by this. So this height should be 41. 41 pixels. Okay. There we go. We'll have two buttons in here. And I want this to be spaced by at least... how much? I kind of like spacing by 100 pixels. I think that's not bad. With the 176. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, we're going to delete both of these texts. And then this will be a text mesh pro text instead. Both of these are going to stretch like so. Excellent. Font size of 24. Black in color. This one will be cancel. This one would then be confirm. Okay. So, text mesh pro text. For right now, this is going to read default are you sure text. Okay, there we go. I feel like 24 is maybe a bit much. I don't know. Maybe. But let's bring this in 10 by 10 by 10 by 10. Just to have it not be right on the edge. Excellent. So we've got our default are you sure text here. And now we've got this confirmation window. So we're going to need to go into our UI and create ourselves a C# script confirmation window. There we go. And head on into that script. Come on. Unity, are you awake over there? Okay, there we go. It just didn't pop this open, I guess. So the confirmation window is going to need to have a couple of things exposed here. The first thing that it's definitely going to need to have is public tmpro.textmeshPro and this is going to be the confirmation text. Let's go ahead and rename this TextMeshPro text to confirmation text as soon as it's done compiling. There we go. This will be the no button. And this will be the yes button. There we go. Don't need the calculator anymore. So TextMeshPro UGUI confirmation text. We're also going to need the public tmpro.textmeshPro UGUI, the no button text. We're also going to grab the public button. Nope, public button. We need using unityengine.ui. Okay, so public button. This is going to be the no button. And I'm just going to do that because I can't be bothered to conform to standards. Public button yes button. Public tmpro.textmeshPro UGUI yes button text. Okay. So the next thing we need is public void on press yes button. There we go. And then public void on press no button. I don't know why I pressed space there. Makes no sense. Okay. So in the confirmation window, we can then go ahead and hook all of that up. So here's our confirmation text. Here is our no button. Here is our no button text. Here's our yes button. And here's our yes button text. Excellent. I think we can now do away with confirmation window for the time being. Now, the next thing that we're going to need is we're going to need to be able to access the confirmation window. And I think the best place to do that would actually be from business. So, header, UI references. And this is going to be public confirmation window. Confirmation window. There we go. We'll hook that up in the inspector as soon as it compiles. There we go. So UI references. Confirmation window. Excellent. Okay. Demolition mode? Can I rename that to enter demolition mode without breaking this? Think it's going to break the button? Because I typoed that. Let's go ahead and go into our toolbar demolition button. Yep, it did indeed break it. Business.onEntered demolition mode. There we go. That's a little bit better. Perfect. So we've got our confirmation window, and now we can go into our building hex here, and instead of doing this immediately, we can do something along the lines of business.confirmationWindow.setActive.gameObject.setActive? Yeah. Okay, so we set the confirmation window to active, and then we can go ahead and say business.confirmationWindow.confirmationText equals purchase x4 plus business dot purchase cost, or not business dot purchase cost, plus purchase cost dot to string, like so. Dot text. There we go. That would help. Plus a question mark. Okay. There we go. So at this point, we then need the confirmation window to execute something. But what? Like, we need it to wait for the confirmation at this point. So we can go into our building hex. We could do it like we did our advisor object. We could have a checking system like that. Alternately, we could go into our business here and say public lit, or just public int3 pending purchase, like that. And then we can go into our int3, which is not currently open. We'll go into our util as soon as it compiles. Go into our int3, and we'll go ahead and do a public int3 int world hex, int biome hex, int building hex. There we go. Yeah, that's the thing. We're working on it. Okay. World hex equals world hex. Biome hex, either capitalized, equals biome hex. And building hex capitalized equals building hex. There we go. So now we've got a constructor for our int3. And when we go in here, we can go ahead and say something along the lines of business.pendingPurchase equals new int3 Why is it in the global world space, or the global namespace? Just new int3. I don't think we need a global namespace there. Okay, new int3, and we need to know what world hex we are in. So let's go ahead and, like we did for the building hexes here with the hex index, let's just go ahead and assign a hex index to the biome hexes as well. So public int hex index, and then we're going to do the same thing we did for the building hex here, and we are going to have it be in the biome hex rather than sub hex manager. It's just going to be sub manager .subhexes.index of this. So that gives us our hex index for our biome hex and our hex manager, and when, or rather our biome hex and our building hex, and when we generate the hexes, we should go ahead and set the world hex index at this point. So, int hex index equals 0. And then when we generate this, we will say hex script dot hex index equals hex index and hex index plus plus. And then we just need to have a world hex index. Public int hex index equals, well, I mean, we're not going to assign it. That gets assigned automatically. Okay. So we now have ourselves an index for all three of our hex types. So in our building hex here, we've got this. And then I wanted to go into, because we've got the pending purchase. So we come down here, and when we do the pending purchase equals new int3, and this is going to be manager.selected world hex dot hex index, like so. And then this is going to be manager.selected subhex dot hex index and hex index. Just like that. And we can grab our index quite easily, theoretically. Theoretically-ish. But what can we do with that index? Well, that's the question, isn't it? So we've got a pending purchase here. Like so. And then in the confirmation window, we're going to need a reference to the business. So, public business. Let's head in here and hook that up before I forget. So in the confirmation window, we're going to go to scripts. There we go. Confirmation window now knows about the business. So on press yes button, purchase, well, proceed. On press no button, we should probably say business dot pending purchase equals null for right now. We may not want that to be the case later on. Oh, this is a non-nullable value type. Yeah. New int3. Oh, not global int3. It's unnecessary. -1, -1, -1. That will be our null type. And we'll just check for that instead of checking for null. Okay, so when we press the yes button, we should get our building hex. So building hex, and this will be our pending purchase equals, and then we're going to need to grab our, because we can't necessarily confirm that we have the same ones selected still, right? So we're going to go ahead and do something along the lines of pending purchase equals, and then we're going to grab our world hex based on the index. So let's go into our hex manager and say public void get hex by index. And rather than void, this is going to return a world hex. So get hex by index and int index, like so. And then we just iterate through our map ij. So for int I equals 0, I is less than map.count I++. For int j equals 0, j is less than map I dot count j++. If map I j dot hex index equals index, return map I j. Okay. Return at this point int3 -1 -1 -1. Okay, and this will be a new int3. Oh, What am I talking about? Oh, this is returning a world hex. Return no. Okay. Well, it is time to put a cut in. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to get the ability to get our biome and our building hexes the same way. See you all then.